Joshua Silverstein was her very first boyfriend. They were both only 13.
You know, I think as she told it, she approached me.
Many people doubt Meghan has long been a mother. Following her attendance at Northwestern University, Meghan began dating Joe Giuliano.
What?
And the couple got married after having a child when Meghan was almost 20.
Holy shit. He said what?
According to reports, Noelle was born in or around 1999, which fits the timeline perfectly.
It's really quite sad.
Given her appearance, Noelle does share some similarities with Joe and Meghan, and she's even more like Meghan.
But apparently for me, that doesn't matter.
He wiped out all kind of pictures, communications with Joe.
What?
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Imagine building your entire brand on being the royal family's rebellious outsider, the truth teller, the victim, the silenced duchess. That's the Meghan Markle the world was sold. But behind the crown-polished PR and carefully rehearsed speeches lies a rumor so explosive it makes palace feuds look like playground gossip. Because what happens when the woman who cried about finding her voice may have actually been hiding an entire chapter of her life? We're not talking about awkward auditions or estranged relatives. We're talking about a missing year, a sealed annulment in Las Vegas, and the whispers of a child, a daughter allegedly erased from Meghan's story and kept in the shadows for 3 decades.
Meghan was researching the prince online and found out that the prince is now duped, so I can now go ahead and marry him. At that stage, Meghan contacted Joe, told him that, look, if you open your mouth, I'm gonna sue you.
That's right, Meghan Markle doesn't just have skeletons in her closet. According to these whispers, she has an entire maternity ward tucked under lock and key. And while Meghan polished her brand around the idea of being silenced, critics have started asking the one question she never seems to answer. Where was her voice when she was allegedly signing those secret annulment papers in Vegas? Because if Meghan's life were a Netflix series, the tagline wouldn't be Finding Freedom. It would be New Season, Same Lies, and a Different Prince. Every single year, another leak, another scandal, another chapter in the messiest royal drama on earth. But this time, it isn't about tiaras, titles, or tears. This time, the whispers are about a child, one that was never supposed to exist in Meghan's carefully edited fairy tale. But that wasn't the whole story, because once you tug on the loose thread of Meghan's so-called gap year, the entire fabric of her origin tale starts to unravel.
Very clear to me at the time that, you know, we were together, I would say. Yeah, she had a very clear idea of where she wanted her path to take.
Now don't forget to like and subscribe, because let's face it, I'm nothing without your support. Now back to the tea. According to Meghan's official biography, after graduating high school in 1994, she took a wholesome gap year. The narrative, a year of soul-searching, traveling, learning, experiencing life, the kind of glossy story you'd expect from a future duchess. Except no one can prove a single thing about where she actually was.
I just made a little mark on my board and said, oh, there's another lie, click.
There are no receipts, no photos, no friends recalling wild European adventures, nothing, just Meghan's word, which by now carries the credibility of a used car salesman with a forged license. The story sounded wholesome, too wholesome, like it had been plucked from a Hallmark card rather than real life. Because in place of postcards and gelato in Italy, the rumor mill claims Meghan was in Las Vegas, not backpacking across Europe, but allegedly walking down a courthouse aisle with her teenage flame, Joe Giuliano. That so-called gap year looks less like soul-searching and more like damage control. And here's where things get darker. 9 months later, according to whispers, there was a baby girl. A daughter, Prince Harry, allegedly had no clue about when he married Meghan years later. So the question becomes, was Meghan's missing year really about finding herself, or was it about burying the truth so deep it could never crawl back into the spotlight?
But the scoop emerging now promises to be truly scandalous. Markle would indeed have a secret daughter entrusted to this Joe Giuliano, a former companion of the Duchess of Sussex. The two met at university, and there's even talk of a secret wedding, celebrated but then cancelled.
Las Vegas is famous for tacky weddings, drive-through chapels, and quick divorces. And usually the records are as public as neon lights. You can dig up half-drunk Elvis marriages from the 70s without breaking a sweat. But Meghan Markle's alleged teenage marriage, that record isn't just missing, it's sealed. And Vegas doesn't seal records because of embarrassment. They seal them when there's something explosive, something they don't ever want resurfacing. So what exactly was Meghan hiding? Whispers say she wasn't just a love-struck teenager. She was a teenager who allegedly tied the knot, filed annulment papers months later, and had the whole record slammed shut tighter than Buckingham Palace during a scandal. And if the secrecy wasn't about a tacky teenage wedding, then maybe it was about what came next. A pregnancy, the kind of evidence you can't explain away with excuses, the kind of truth you can only bury under silence, sealed files, and years of reinvention.
At the time, you know, that we were together, it's what kids did, right? So she told her friends she liked me, I told my friends I liked her, and then our friends met, and then they kind of arranged it, and then we became girlfriend and boyfriend.
Because this wasn't just about vows, it it was about consequences. By mid-1995, according to persistent whispers, Meghan had given birth to a baby girl. Not a rumor about college trips, not a vague tale about finding herself. A child. The story goes that Meghan quietly handed the baby to the Giuliano family, who raised the little girl out of the spotlight, while Meghan reinvented herself as if nothing had ever happened. No adoption papers, no acknowledgement, just a silent trade-off. And if that sounds cold, remember Meghan's pattern. Inconvenient people don't stick around in her story. They get cut off, ghosted, deleted. 1 minute they're in her orbit, the next they're erased like an old text thread.
And Meghan, look, I mean, that's a woman who wants to be famous more than anything. I mean, more than anything. She has literally chucked every single person in her life under the bus other than her mum, right? So I know her dad really well. I know her sister really well. I think they're a really good, honest American family, but she was embarrassed by them. You know, she was embarrassed by them. They were too working class. They were too normal for Meghan. She didn't want them to be part of it, so she just flicked them, got rid of them.
If she'll do this to our family, she'll do this to yours. I love her, she's my sister, but humanitarians and diplomats don't behave like this.
But children aren't disposable. They don't vanish when you delete their chapter. They grow up, they turn 30, they become adults with their own voices. Voices Meghan can't control. And that's where the glossy facade of Meghan's fairy tale starts to crack wide open. When Meghan walked into Northwestern University, it was like she'd been dropped from the sky. Brand new smile, brand new story, zero baggage. Professors and classmates saw an ambitious freshman with dreams of acting, not a girl with a sealed Vegas annulment and whispers of a hidden child. It wasn't reinvention, it was erasure. Meghan didn't just distance herself from the Giuliano family, she cut them out like a bad scene from a script. Poof, gone. No teenage marriage, no annulment, no baby. Just actress in training Meghan Markle, ready to climb. But here's the problem with cutting people out. Memories don't vanish with them. The Giulianos remembered, friends remembered, and every time the subject came up, the story was the same. Different voices, different details. Same storyline. A marriage, a baby, a secret buried. And no amount of smiling through interviews or acting like nothing happened could silence those whispers forever. Over the years, whispers turned into patterns. Family friends, old insiders, estranged relatives, they all hinted at the same narrative. And when different sources keep telling the same story, you're not dealing with random gossip anymore. You're dealing with a rumor that refuses to go away. Meghan could ghost family, bulldoze critics, and spin interviews about her truth. But she couldn't control other people's memories. She couldn't erase the whispers that hung around like smoke after a fire.
I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
Thomas Jr. was 14 when Meghan came into the world.
And with every step closer to Hollywood, to royalty, to the global spotlight, the whispers grew louder, more aligned, more detailed, until finally it wasn't just whispers, it was a ticking clock. If the rumors are true, Meghan's alleged daughter isn't a rumor anymore. She's a grown woman, 30 years old, and one headline, one interview, one DNA test is all it would take to shatter Meghan's entire carefully scripted narrative. This isn't palace drama. This isn't family feuding for headlines. This is flesh and blood. And here's the part Meghan must dread the most. She doesn't control this script. She can't edit this chapter out. She can't erase a grown woman who allegedly has her blood. If that daughter ever steps into the light, Meghan's empire doesn't just crack, it collapses. For 30 years, Meghan has allegedly kept this chapter padlocked, betting that silence, sealed records, and reinvention would keep it buried. But time doesn't stay quiet. Children grow up, secrets grow teeth. And the irony? Meghan built her brand on her truth. She cried on primetime TV about being silenced. She lectured the world on authenticity.
Is there an inherent tension in trying to be relatable while also being a duchess?
No, I don't find, I'm just being myself. So I think probably it was different several years ago where I couldn't be as vocal and I had to wear nude pantyhose all the time. Let's be honest, that was not very myself. I hadn't seen pantyhose since movies in the 80s when they came in the little egg. That felt a little bit inauthentic, but that's a silly example. But it is an example of when you're able to dress the way you want to dress and you're able to say the things that are true and you're able to show up in the space really organically and authentically. Oh my gosh, I work so hard and I'm still working hard. And I've always been a hard worker. I'm gonna live my life really authentically, make choices authentically.
She can't even act like herself.
She's such a phony.
Do not trust this woman.
Uncle, make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen this sort of before. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
But what if the first person she silenced wasn't the monarchy? It was her own daughter. Because you can dodge critics, you can outrun headlines, but you can't outrun blood. And when that truth steps forward, Meghan won't be the narrator anymore. The script won't belong to her. It will belong to the daughter she allegedly tried to erase. And that isn't a PR crisis. That's demolition. Meghan Markle's greatest fear isn't the tabloids. It isn't the monarchy. It isn't even her critics. It's the truth she allegedly buried 30 years ago. And when the silence breaks, because silence always breaks, her carefully crafted royal fairy tale could collapse in a single heartbeat. What makes this rumor so dangerous isn't just the alleged daughter. It's what the existence of that daughter would mean for Meghan's entire empire. Every speech, every interview, every carefully staged documentary, all built on the image of a woman who overcame struggles by telling the truth. But what if the real truth was buried in sealed Vegas files?
Markle herself has been exposed again as someone loose with the truth.
She opens her mouth and a lie comes out.
So all of these lies started coming out, but we didn't know that she had told the royal family so many porcupines. So it makes sense. Oh my God, I've got to keep everybody away because if they start talking, the lies come out.
Classic.
But there were so many of them. And why? It would have been so easy to be honest about who she is and to be proud and to empower other women when she's out there using her platform. Be proud of who you are. Work hard. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. You don't have to dress like Diana. You don't have to say you got grants and scholarships.
It is pretty extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, I think she's just got so used to lying that maybe, in my opinion, she believes the lies she tells. I don't know. But either way, she's just been so consistently loose with the truth.
And everything else was PR, smoke and mirrors. So, you know, and I think here's another thing for Harry to say and Meghan to say we never got to tell our story. Baloney. You were paying multi-million-dollar PR firms to tell your story the way you controlled it, the way you wanted it told, while you also disparaged and silenced others. So I don't want to hear we're finally getting to tell our story. We've heard their stories all along. That's what multi-million-dollar PR firms do. So that is a lie.
So these are lies.
I mean, how can she tell this stuff and get away with it?
Think about the chain reaction. If a secret child stepped forward, suddenly Meghan's authenticity isn't bravery, it's theater. Every time she positioned herself as the victim, people would wonder, but what about the child she allegedly abandoned? Every partnership, every royal memory, every brand deal, overshadowed by one question the world wouldn't stop asking. What else did Meghan lie about? Because once a foundation cracks, it doesn't matter how pretty the paint job is. You can polish the crown, you can rehearse the speeches, but if people believe you erased your own flesh and blood for ambition, the damage is permanent. And that's the part Meghan can't spin away. Not with PR, not with interviews, not even with Hollywood's best scriptwriters. The truth is relentless. It doesn't care about titles, image, or fairy tales. It waits. And when it arrives, it doesn't knock politely, it blows the door off its hinges. Meghan may think she's silenced the whispers, but all it would take is one voice, one headline, one DNA test to turn those whispers into a roar that drowns out everything else. At that point, the story wouldn't be about Meghan Markle, the royal rebel. It would be about Meghan Markle, the woman who built an empire on vanishing acts, until the one secret she couldn't erase came crashing back to reclaim the spotlight.
And they keep on making these broad allegations without names, without incidents, without examples, no evidence at all.
It's another weird week on planet Sussex, where the gruesome twosomes' extraordinary lives get stranger by the day. Watching this tawdry real-life soap opera in all its lack of glory is becoming an almost painful experience.
Now I want to hear from you. So here's what I want to know from you. If Meghan Markle really does have a secret daughter, what happens next? Does this woman eventually step into the spotlight and bring Meghan's whole carefully built image crashing down? Or does Meghan somehow manage to keep this rumor buried and locked up with those sealed Vegas files forever? Drop your theories in the comments. I want to see what you think, because this story has the potential to flip everything we've been told upside down. And while you're down there, hit that like button if you think the truth always finds a way to come out. Smash that subscribe button if you're ready for more exposés the mainstream media won't touch. And make sure you ring the notification bell so you're always the first to know when the next bombshell drops. Because let's be honest, in Meghan's world, every rumor feels like the calm before another storm. Today it's a hidden daughter. Tomorrow it could be something even darker. The scandals keep building, the cracks keep widening, and the stories just keep getting wilder. This isn't slowing down. If anything, it's accelerating. And trust me, you do not want to be the last to find out what's coming. And if you enjoyed my content, feel free to check out some of my other videos on the top of the screen. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.